NBC 10 breaking news.
Breaking news at 5:30 this morning out of Southwest Philly. The Sunoco refinery, as people know it, is still burning. We have had reports of multiple explosions just before 4 a.m. People say that they heard the explosion. It rattled their homes. We still do not know if anyone was hurt, but 1,000 people are employed at the Sunoco refinery. It's a 24-hour operation. The largest refinery on the East Coast is right here in Philadelphia. Once again, the plume of smoke, the explosion that happened just before 4:30 in the morning scared people out of their beds. They looked out their windows and they saw a humongous plume of smoke. There's the firebomb, as I called it just a little while ago. People that called to our newsroom worried maybe they lost friends in that moment. The man that called was on the Platte Bridge watching this happen. He was shaking. He said, "I can't talk on air, but I'm very scared that people got hurt in there." That is still one of the many unanswered questions.
Yeah, people from as far away as Runnymede, New Jersey said were contacting us and telling us that they heard it, they felt it from that far away. Pretty incredible. Let's go to our NBC 10 reporter, Randy Gyllenhaal, who's standing by. And Randy, I don't even know where you are, but just kind of tell us where you are and what you're seeing and what you're feeling.
Yeah, we just arrived in the West Passyunk Grays Ferry neighborhood, which is just across the Schuylkill River from where this explosion and fire happened. Take a look behind me. This is what neighbors woke up to. Plumes of this heavy black smoke making its way east across South Philadelphia. Neighbors tell me they heard the first boom about 4:30 this morning. They said it shook their walls, woke them up. I just talked to one woman, and she said she jumped out of bed. She did not want to speak with us on camera, still a bit shaken, but literally every neighbor on this block heard that noise. And I can tell you, for neighbors in this area, especially near Passyunk Avenue, who live near this Philadelphia Energy Solutions refinery, they've been worried something like this might happen for a while. There have actually been protests by some of the neighbors who live right near that plant after recent fires. This is not the only fire to happen here. In fact, there was another fire just a few weeks ago, including that happened a protest afterwards with some of those neighbors who've been concerned about issues just like this. Right now on the ground, I can tell you, I hear sirens going off in the distance. We have seen a number of ambulances and fire trucks racing down some of these narrow Philadelphia streets. So what we're doing right now is we're going to go into the neighborhood here, talk to some people who may have heard or saw what happened. They're starting to wake up and come out of their homes and see all of this smoke that's to the south of them making its way across South Philadelphia. That, of course, is another concern. What may be in that smoke? This refinery makes everything from gasoline to jet fuel. That could complicate the firefighting process. Also makes neighbors here at least a little concerned about what might be in the air. So we're going to go head into that neighborhood. We'll talk to you in just a little bit, but for people waking up, they can see it behind them, that black smoke rising throughout the city. For now, we're live in Grays Ferry. I'm Randy Gyllenhaal. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Randy, keep us posted. Let's turn to Mantelucia right now. Of course, traffic is an important part of people's lives in this time of the day.
Absolutely. And from this view here from Skyforce 10, you can see that the fire is pretty well contained to this small area, but there is a large police and fire presence around this area to try to put this out. You see all those fire trucks that are there right now. I don't know if we can have Skyforce 10 pull back just a little bit so you can just see the area, get a lay of the land. So we do have closures on the Platte Bridge, which will be toward the top of your screen. Also Penrose Avenue. We have some closures there as well. So let's go to the maps right now where you can see a 4-panel view of what is going on right here. So this is 26th Street leading to the base of the Platte Bridge. It is closed, although we can see a couple of emergency vehicles here and there making their way to that area. The base of the Platte Bridge right here on the top right of the screen, you can see is closed, heading westbound toward the Philadelphia International Airport, Southwest Philadelphia. Look at all those emergency vehicles that are lined up there on the bridge. We have not seen any cars going over to the westbound side in a little over a half hour at this point. Down here, the bottom left, you can see here, this is from one of the PennDOT cameras at 76 eastbound and Vare Avenue. So you can see right here by Passyunk Avenue, everything is blocked off right there going toward Penrose, and 26th Street is also blocked. So I just wanted to show you the closures that are happening right now. So 76 East between that exit to I-95 and the Walt Whitman Bridge and Platte Bridge and 26th Street all affected. Also, SEPTA routes G, 17, 37, and 68 are detoured because of this. Long story short, try to avoid that area of Southwest Philadelphia if at all possible, guys.
All right, Matt, thank you, and keep us posted.
All right, we're going to head now to Skyforce 10. Dan Kent is joining us. Dan, you've been over the fire for a little while now. Just kind of give us a chronological order of what it's looked like since you've been up in the air.
Yeah, so as you can see here from this wide shot, the fire seems to be centered right in the middle of the refinery complex there. I'll put the maps up there for you, and you can see, as Matt was talking about, it's from Penrose Avenue all the way over to 26th Street is the whole refinery complex. And right in the center there is where the fire seems to be stemming from. It hasn't gotten any less since we've been here. The fires remain consistent with these large flames and thick black smoke that is actually blowing up towards South Philadelphia. So those in South Philadelphia may actually be seeing all this thick black smoke coming across the city. The Pab Bridge is closed. The 26th Avenue is closed, and the whole surrounding area is just surrounded by fire equipment that is just standing by, trying to assist in fighting this fire.
Yeah, we're talking to Dan Kent, who's the pilot for Skyforce 10, has been up in the air for maybe the better part of an hour, Dan, I'm guessing, and we have a better view of the entire area. You can see the refinery is sort of like on an island, more or less, where it is. And Dan, as you push closer, we actually got that was our best view to see the progress that is being made by firefighters that are on the ground there throwing water on it, and that's the shot I'm talking about. You said it hasn't gotten any less severe, it appears, but just from our perspective, when we first saw this, I don't know, maybe 4:15, 4:10 this morning, a little over an hour ago, it appears to me like they're doing a pretty good job of clearly still not under control, but it doesn't seem to me as quite as severe as it was.
That's right. Pete Kane is also on the scene with you out there, Dan. One of the things that we're still waiting to hear are any injuries, how many engines actually have responded to this. It's been an hour and a half now. We have yet to hear from the fire department as to what's going on out there, or the refinery for that matter, as to trying to figure out what exactly is burning at this point. We were discussing this is the largest refinery on the East Coast, and these explosions that we saw, Dan, were so intense. I'm not sure, just because you were about to get right in the air, right when that humongous one happened, but did you see that one from the air? Were you actually up already?
No, we haven't seen any explosions from the air, but we just have seen this consistent fire burning from the center of the refinery there. They have been putting a lot of water on the fire, which seems they have some sort of systems here that are there to specifically fight any potential fires. All the fire department equipment is actually kind of keeping a little bit of a distance and working from a distance here, but now you can see they're actually pulling some hoses closer towards that fire. But they're definitely getting a lot of water on it, and there's a lot of thick black smoke that's going out across South Philadelphia.
We're also seeing first responders, Dan, as you pushed in there, that are walking around the area. So that always to me is a good sign. There they are.
So hopefully they can keep it contained, and more firefighters can get a little bit closer to the source, and we can learn much more about what's happened. A very large, long-running investigation is happening because of this, and so we're going to go to Bill Henley in a moment. Yeah, Bill will talk about the air quality, and I'll tell you, the Philadelphia Eagles, their training complex is in this area. It's nearby. It's within maybe a couple of miles from this area, and of course, they're like all of us. We're all concerned about air quality. Let's check in with Bill Henley and find out, how winds are shifting some of that.
It will be shifting during the day. In fact, we're seeing the wind kind of push the smoke cloud to the right in this camera view. That's towards South Philadelphia. We're not seeing a strong wind, but just enough to ease that smoke past Lincoln Financial Field. Now, you just heard that they have been making some progress fighting that fire. The smoke is not as impressive as we saw just 15 minutes ago in this view. The wind, that's going to be accelerating during the day. Right now, it's a southwesterly wind at 8 miles an hour. So that's a wind that's coming out of the southwest. That means that smoke is blowing towards South Philadelphia, just to the north of the of the sports complex. There's Philadelphia International. The wind is actually blowing away from it, and you can see the refinery complex on the satellite imagery, the Schuylkill River there. So the smoke is blowing across the Schuylkill River and into South Philadelphia. So typically what happens in a situation like this, they will mobilize crews to monitor the air quality downwind from that smoke. So far, we haven't heard from them. So the best advice is to stay inside and stay out of that outside air as much as you can. Now, the winds are blowing to the southwest, so that air is carried into Center City, Philadelphia, and even South Jersey. Now, we are seeing some spotty rain showers, but the steadier rain is heading to the north or staying to the north, so spotty showers are really not going to help the situation at all and really not going to tamp down that smoke either. The winds will be shifting, and as we go through the morning, they will be increasing, so that's a 16-mile-an-hour wind at 11 o'clock. So if they are still fighting the fire, it may become more difficult because those winds will be increasing, and we'll see gusts this afternoon up to 30 miles an hour. Another view of those winds, a futurecast shows at 6 o'clock this morning just a 5-mile-an-hour wind, dies down a little bit, and then it comes right up and shifts out of the northwest. That's dry air coming in, but it is going to be a blustery afternoon. That's the latest from the First Alert Weather Center. Of course, we'll be monitoring the situation through the morning until conditions improve, until we hear from officials on that air quality. Lucy, Vi?
All right. Thanks, Bill.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Again, we're covering breaking news of this enormous refinery fire in southwest Philadelphia, is the area that known to most people as the Sunoco refinery. It's the biggest one in the eastern seaboard. We'll keep an eye on this. We're monitoring the situation, talking to our experts and eyewitnesses. We'll have all that for you coming up in just a moment. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
NBC 10 breaking news.
At 4:44 this morning, we're taking you back to southwest Philly, where the Sunoco refinery continues to burn. This after huge explosions, one that we witnessed on live television just before 4:30 this morning. This is being surrounded by first responders, many fire crews. This is the explosion we're talking about. Look at that. Right before 4:30 this morning, we had witnesses call us from the Platte Bridge as it was happening, saying, "Oh my God, I think I lost friends in that moment." The man was too shaken to talk on air with us, but he wanted to know if there were any reports of people injured. We have yet to learn that, guys. We are working for you on this. These are 4 different angles. You can see this fire. People felt this fire. All the way in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, we felt that explosion about 15 seconds later here in Center City at 1800 Arch Street, all the way from southwest Philadelphia. It has been an incredible morning watching this unfold there, Vi.
Yeah, obviously we have our team of reporters fanned out throughout the area to give us great pictures and talk to people. One of them, NBC 10's Miguel Martinez-Valle, is standing by live. Miguel, first tell us where you are and tell us what you're seeing and what's happening there.
Yeah, good morning, Vi. So we actually moved over right by the Platte Bridge. Penrose and 26th is the closest intersection. And you can see the fire behind me, very different than that fire you were seeing in the videos and the images that you guys were just showing. So it has gone down quite a bit. And even since we've been here for the last 15, 30 minutes, we've seen the smoke actually go down a little bit than what we were seeing, just 30 minutes ago. But you can see the fire is still burning, and a lot of emergency crews are set up around where we are on the other side right here of the Platte Bridge, with police, fire department, and ambulances that are all in the area. I can tell you, when we started off this morning, we were over on Broad and Pattison. That's where they had the road shut down to the public. They did allow us to move a little bit further to get here. As we were moving, we saw a lot of ambulances rush past us to get here. A lot of police and emergency responders also try to get here to respond to this fire over at the refinery. Now, this is still an active situation, and we were told by fire officials that they might let us get a little bit closer and give us more information. So we are standing by for them to come and give us the okay to do that. But as I said, they are still responding to the fire. So they are, obviously, that is their priority, keeping everyone safe, responding to that fire, and making sure that the roadways are clear for those emergency vehicles that are going to be making their way over to the southwest part of Philadelphia near that refinery. But that is what we're seeing right here near the Platte Bridge. I'll send it back to you guys.
Miguel, thank you. And we want to tell you what has been confirmed about this fire. Here's what we're learning, that the fire is contained to the property. This is mainly being handled by the Philadelphia Energy Solutions Fire Department. Philly Fire is there on the scene, but they're there to assist. There is still no word of any injuries that we are aware of at this point. We're working to find that out. No evacuations have happened at this time. We have learned that from our sources on the ground and also the eyewitnesses, people who live nearby there. They're working nearby there. They said that they have not been contacted and told to evacuate. So that's what we're learning at this point as we're giving you live pictures of this enormous fire at the Energy Solutions plant in Southwest Philadelphia. We'll recalibrate. We'll come back after we take a short break.
We also have some tweets that we're going to show real quick from people all in North Deptford, saying that they felt like it was thunder in New Jersey. This is from Harold Spence saying, just felt an explosion in West Deptford from South Philadelphia. It was around 4 o'clock in the morning. I thought my upstairs neighbor fell out of bed. A lot of people, witness accounts, they range in extreme emotion to what was that? This is in National Park, New Jersey. Said our windows rattled with each explosion. Thank you, Holly, for giving us your take on this. The next tweet from Caitlin over in Brooklawn, Camden County. The first 2 explosions shook our house so bad it woke the whole house. We watched the second one live on the news while feeling it again shake our entire house. We still hear a constant rumble coming from that fire. That's in Brooklawn, Camden County. And I believe we have one more. Nope, that's it for now. But keep the conversations going with us, guys. We are watching what you're telling us, and we're also asking all the right questions to figure out how this could have happened at the Sunoco refinery. We'll be right back.
NBC 10 Breaking News.
5:52 in the morning now. This is the fire at the Sunoco refinery. It has been burning since 4 o'clock this morning at least. They tell us it is contained at this point. Philadelphia Energy Solutions Fire Department is the one working the fire. Philadelphia Fire is there, but only in a point of assistance at this moment. 2 major explosions, one that we watched live on the air, and all sorts of road closures and detours as a result of this fire.
Yeah, speaking of those road closures, let's check in with Matt Delusion. First of all, traffic with some details on that. Matt, what do you know?
Right, Vi and Lucy, we have seen several closures around that area of Southwest Philadelphia, especially around 76 Passyunk Avenue. So right now you're looking at several different angles here. So right here, 76, where you get off to Passyunk Avenue, but the Penrose Avenue exit going to the airport, that is closed. Right down here at 26 and Penrose, here's why, because we had that closure here westbound on the Platte Bridge. We have all these emergency vehicles that are lined up there right now. Skyforce 10 is over here, over that area right now. You can see the fire down here. It is well contained to that specific area, but you have all those emergency workers around there just trying to make sure that that area is, of course, safe and trying to get this thing out and also trying to direct traffic around there as well. And then you look right here, 76 at Passyunk Avenue, where you see that exit ramp is blocked there. So we have 26th Street blocked as well. We have SEPTA detours that are underway as well. So that entire area of Southwest Philadelphia around the Platte Bridge is an area that is good to avoid. Actually, right now, I'm just seeing here live, it looks like the westbound side of the Platte Bridge just reopened a moment ago here. We did have the eastbound lanes that were already open. Now looks like traffic is moving once again there westbound over toward the Philadelphia International Airport. So conditions are starting to improve a little bit. Every few minutes we are seeing updates from PennDOT and also from Philadelphia authorities here. But again, we're not seeing too much traffic here on 76 here around Gray's Ferry, around South Street. In that area, I'm watching all of our cameras. So we're going to keep our eye on this and let you know how to get around this situation. Coming up in a few minutes, guys.
All right. Thank you very much, Matt. Looks like conditions are improving on the roads, and we are keeping our fingers crossed that conditions are improving here with this fire, that they're making progress on it. Again, this enormous fire at the Sunoco plant, the Energy Solutions plant is what it is. They just changed ownership, but most people in the area still recognize it and know it as the Sunoco refinery. And we have a number of crews that are out. You're looking at a live picture from Skyforce 10. The first one on the scene for us was Pete Kane, our ace photographer here. Pete is on the phone right now. Pete, just kind of set the stage for us, if you would.
Hi, Vi. Yeah, right now it looked like that smoke has diminished a lot. A lot of black smoke coming out, but not as intense as it was earlier. And as you can see, the flames are still coming up from that same area that we saw a couple hours ago.
Now, you've learned from covering these in the past, Pete. You positioned yourself away from where the smoke was blowing earlier, but just give us your perspective on this. We know that this is what people are afraid of. We've seen the protests happen. Even on their own Philadelphia Energy Solutions website, they say we work for this not to happen because we lose our license to operate. But this is also the largest refinery on the East Coast, and so much crude oil goes through there. It's a major operation. But give us your perspective as to what this does to a neighborhood and the first responders that are out there.
And Pete, it looks like those fire trucks are leaving. Am I seeing that right? Yeah. Or are these more trucks coming into the area?
What you're seeing right now, they are heading into the area.
Okay.
They were out here sitting on the entrance, and now they're all going into the refinery.
Okay.
And they're heading in. They were parked at the base of the bridge, and right now they're heading into the refinery. And we got word a little while ago from the fire department they're going to be coming to give us an update on what's going on. And so far, I've seen no rescue squads leaving the refinery. So hopefully that's a good sign.
Once again, Pete, we know that they contained it. The internal fire department within the corporation there handled it, contained it, and Philly Fire was there in a support role. That's according to Inspector Small that spoke to us a little while ago. Just give us your perspective, Pete. How does this one compare to the things you've covered in the past?
Well, being 15, 20 miles away, and I felt the explosion. I heard it. I saw the glow. I thought the worst because I've been to, several of these fires. And as you're approaching them and all you see is a ball of smoke and flames, you just don't know. It's a very eerie feeling coming into the refinery. And I was very leery coming over the Walt Whitman Bridge as I watched that fire from a distance. So just hopefully that, it's not as bad as some I've seen in the past.
Yeah, speaking of that, Pete Kane, just to give our viewers some perspective, Pete Kane has been with the station for better part of 40 years, and he famously covered the famous MOVE bombing back in 1985, May of 1985. He was on the scene. In fact, Pete has won numerous awards for his coverage and the pictures that he sent us. And so this, Pete, seeing the enormity of that fireball that we saw at about 4:24. I don't know if you had a chance to see it. Probably not, because you're out there. But it's reminiscent of some of the worst things that we've seen in this city, certainly, and maybe internationally. But that fireball, it looked like a bomb had been dropped, and then there was a huge mushroom cloud, Pete.
Right.
We're talking to Pete Kane here, our photographer who's on the air. He's been there for the better part of an hour, and we're looking at pictures from Skyforce 10 as they're throwing fire or water on you. Here's the explosion. We're showing it on live on television right now, Pete, from over an hour ago. And then the camera pulled back to show this plume rising up, this mushroom. Mm-hmm. And it looks like something from World War II.
It's incredible, truly incredible.
And people who say that they felt it, pictures were falling off of walls. People felt it as far away as Runnymede, New Jersey. Pete, we want you to stay obviously connected to us. If anything happens, we want you to call us back and let us know. Keep us updated and abreast of anything that's happening there. We appreciate it, Pete.
Thanks, Pete. It's important to say, guys, that the people that live near this plant for a long time now, as many people do, when something like this comes into a person's neighborhood, they're always concerned. Even though this has been a staple of the community, it's been there for decades. But the people that live around there have been protesting, saying that they just don't feel safe. There was a fire there recently. Randy Gyllenhaal is actually going to join us from the neighborhood that did the latest protest after the last fire at this exact location. We're going to see how they're feeling shortly. NBC 10 News Today starts right now.